This is the Actors tutorial video for MIMC version 2.0, FIU Spring 2019. Developers are Juan Diaz and Alex Rodriguez. Production owners are Mark Finlayson, Laviva Jahan, Victor Yalat. Mentor is Dr. Masood Sajadi. We begin with the student tutorial. This is the student actor tutorial. As a prerequisite, the admin must have created an account for the student. For this tutorial, the admin has created a student with username 9 and password 9. We now proceed to log in. Student enters his or her credentials and clicks on the login button. Student will always be taken to the last activity completed. In this case, the student has not completed any activities, so they're taken to activity 1. The student may see a list of activities and their statuses, whether they're completed or not, by clicking on the Activities button on the top left, like so. This screen will show the student the name of the activity number, and its status, whether it has been completed or not. From this screen, a student may go back to the activities by clicking on the Continuous Activities button right below the list. The student can use the navigation buttons located in the top of the dashboard to either go back of activity or go forward an activity. Please note that the Next button or the Submit button for each activity will not be enabled until certain conditions are met. We will now traverse through the activities so we can take a look at what type of activities the student will be presented with. Activity number 1 is your standard reading activity. This reading activity will have the Next button disabled for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, the Next button will become visible. We click on Next. This is the Collect Story activity. The student will be presented with a text box, and the text box and the Submit button will not be enabled until the student has entered at least a minimum of 50 characters. We now proceed to enter some text. Notice that the character count on the bottom shows there are 63 characters entered, so the Submit button was enabled. We now move forward. This is also a reading activity. Again, like in activity number 1, the user must wait at least 10 seconds before the Next button becomes enabled. We can now proceed. This is another example of a reading activity. The Next button will become enabled in 10 seconds. We proceed. This is the character map activity. The Next button will not be enabled until the student has completed and matched the correct answers to the questions. Character name, 1 is required. Character's appearance, 1 of 1. Character's accomplishments, 1 of 1 is required. However, the student may also move more. Others character's reactions, and character's personality trait. Again, 1 is the minimum, but the student may move more. After all the boxes have turned green, showing a correct match, the Next button will light up, and we proceed. This is another example of a reading activity. Like before, it will take 10 seconds before the Next button becomes enabled. And the end of day 1 activity. Now, let's show an example of the back button. What will it do? The back button takes you to the previous activity. The timer is reset and the student must meet the conditions again. For this example, the condition is that the student must wait 10 seconds. The Next button completes the activity. So we're at the last activity. Clicking next will complete the activity, and the student should be presented with a complete activities list. Now, on this example, the admin has chosen to stop activities at this activity number. So the student will be presented with a pop-up box that indicates this is the case. For this scenario, we will go ahead and remove the stopped from this activity so the student can complete all the activities. The stop has been removed, and now the student should be able to proceed. And congratulations, the student has completed all activities. As the last step, we'll log out, and we'll log in with the same student. The student is taken to the activities list. If we go back to activities, we see that they're all completed, and we log out. This concludes the tutorial for the student actor. We now move on to the admin tutorial portion of the video. This is a tutorial for the admin actor. By default, when the application first starts, there will be an admin account created with the username admin and password foo. We now proceed to log in. The admin is taken to the admin dashboard, which is divided into two sections, the user section and the activity section. The user section gives the admin the ability to create new usernames individually by providing a username and password. User 10 was created. The ability to mass create usernames by having an Excel sheet file imported. The first column of the Excel sheet must have the username. The second column must have the password. The admin simply chooses a file and clicks import. The download user stories downloads any user stories submitted by any students. Presented again as an Excel sheet file with three columns: user ID, the text of the story, and the date of submission. Down below we see a list of all users active in the system and inactive. The columns show whether the student is logged in, what machine they're logged in, the user ID, which is just for internal use, the username and password for that user, the activities completed, and the ability to view user stories submitted by that single user. In this case, this user, the admin user, does not have any activity submitted. Also, the admin is able to kick users. As an example, we log in with a newly created user on another screen. We're logged in, and we see that that user is now active. Because the user is logging in from the same machine this presentation is occurring on, the dashboard is the same. Now we'll go ahead and kick that user. And we see the user has disappeared. Another feature that the admin has control over is what activities the user sees. An activity may be in one of three status: enable, disable, stopped. Disable acts as if the activity weren't there. The student can simply goes past it. They do not see it at all. Stop means the activity is shown to the student, but when they hit the next or submit button, they are told that activities have been halted. Please refer to the student actor tutorial for a video demonstration. The admin can reset, update activity statuses one by one, and then clicking update activities, or the admin can reset all activities back to enabled, like so. In addition, because the admin is also a student, the admin can see activities and could actually complete activities as well. The admin can go back to the admin dashboard by clicking on the admin button on the top right. As a final example, we'll go ahead and kick the admin. Any user that's kicked is taken back to the login page. So the admin has been kicked, which means any action we take should not be allowed. And we get taken back to the login page. And this concludes the tutorial for the admin actor. Thank you for watching. This brings an end to the presentation. Thank you for watching. My name is Juan Diaz, and you may reach me at jds457@fiu.edu. Once again, the mentor for this project was Dr. Masood Sajjadi, and the product owners are Mark Finlayson, Labiba Jahan, and Victor Yarlot. Thank you for watching.